Hey guys, and welcome back to The Batch Lady. I am Suzanne Mulholland, also known as The Batch Lady, and on The Batch Lady channel today I am going to show you how to make Italian meatballs. The Batch Lady channel is all about making simple, fast, homemade food that you can make in advance, store in your freezer and eat whenever you want. So imagine you come home from a hard day's work, your supper is ready, just waiting to be heated up with no extra washing up to do whatsoever. And today you will see exactly how easy it is with Italian meatballs. So I have got my meat. Now this meat was already frozen because I like to cook my meatballs before they go in the freezer. So this is my frozen meat. Now you may see that my bowl has had something else in it. Well, I don't wash the bowl every time. If I had just been making some burgers, so I'm just going to use very similar ingredients, so I'm not going to wash a bowl to start again. So this is where you save time doing things like this. So for this recipe, we need some Worcestershire sauce. And we need about 8 teaspoons full, which is about half a cup, but I'm going to use slightly less than that because the last time I made them. So I'll just put a little bit in just now and then see how we go. These meatballs are great. You know, you can make them fancier if you've got people coming over, or if you're just doing them for the kids, you can just leave them plain. Now we're going to season them with some good old salt and pepper. And next we're going to put in some rosemary. Quite a bit of rosemary, that'll give it the good seasoning that we want. Okay, so our salt and pepper, our Worcestershire sauce has gone into our ground beef. We're now going to put our dried rosemary in. And I'm doubling my portions. So if you want the exact portions, then go onto my website at thebatchlady.com and you can download for free any of the recipes you want. Now, I am going to add an egg. Sometimes they're quite small eggs, so I may add 2. Now, I just like to get my hands right about this. It's much quicker and easier to do than messing about with a spoon. But this is a great recipe. I mean, you can then, I make it quite basic. And then if I did decide, oh, actually we're having other people, I would then, as it's defrosting, I would then, add some other things to it. I might put some sort of sun-dried tomatoes or some chilies, or just mix it up a bit. But actually this is a great sort of midweek supper. So, dump it out. And I think I'm just going to add a bit more Worcestershire sauce to that. I think that 1 egg is maybe enough. You want to bind it together so that the meatballs stay together. You don't want it too dry. We'll maybe just add the extra one in. I've got this big slab on my counter, so it's very easy to do actually. Just like you're making scones, you can just do it directly onto your counter. It doesn't matter if it's not in a bowl. Just make sure you clean your counter well. This one's very good at not having any bits get things stuck in. Now, we're going to put this in the oven. We're going to cook it for about 15 minutes once we've got it into its meatball shapes. So just like for when I make burgers, I'm just going to make it into one big shape. I'm going to half it down the middle, and I'm going to quarter it again. And I know that each of these quarters makes 4 burgers. So I'm then going to quarter. It makes between 4 and 5 meatballs, depending on your size. Give them a roll in your hands. These are quite big meatballs actually, so we might just quarter them again. Try to get them all about roughly the same size. So I'm going to stand and do this, and I will see you back in 1 minute once I've actually done them all and put them in the oven. So they're going in the top oven for about 15 minutes, okay? And I'll let you see them as they come out. Thank you for watching. Okay, so our meatballs are out of the oven, so this is what they look like. And the reason I put them on a tinfoil tray is because you'll see in a minute, I don't like to do much washing up because I'm very lazy. So what we're going to do with our meatballs is we need 4 per person, and I do a bag of 4. So these are quite small, so I'm going to put 4 in per person at first. 3, 4... And this is going to make 2 suppers for 4 people. Now, my husband will eat more than 4. So that's 4 for each, but I'll put in another 4. Now, that should work out. I should have enough because of how much meat that I use. So that would mean if I'd just used a single bag of meat at 500 grams, but of course I doubled it, so we're actually on double that. So this now will make enough for 2 meals, which is what I love to do. Why cook one when you can cook 2? So your meatballs are in their bags. Now these are still hot, so we're going to have to leave these bags to open. You can't put anything in the freezer that's still hot. Okay, and if I show you this, I then lift off my tin foil. And this is the reason that I use tin foil, is because throw it in the bin and clip my mic back on, just falling off. And there are my trays, look at that. They'll be used for another recipe. So, this is our spaghetti meatballs recipe. So we don't ever freeze pasta. It doesn't really freeze well unless you're doing a big macaroni cheese or something like that. So now I just need my ladle. This tomato sauce I made this morning, you'll get the recipe on my batchlady.com. It's really simple, it takes 2 minutes and it's so healthy. And we are just going to put 1 ladle full, which is 1 cup. Actually, sorry, 2.5 ladle spoons into each one. Now these are going to freeze great because they're in a sauce. If you weren't putting them in a sauce, I'd probably freeze them before I cooked them. But actually, because they can go in a sauce, it works out perfectly well. So all I'll do now is leave that open to cool, but once it's cooled, I'm going to lay it flat, flatten it down and seal it up, and there I have 2 meals for the family. Now this is part of the section that I'm doing on a batch cooking morning with all the same ingredients. So if you want to subscribe below and look at all the other playlists, you'll see that there's a playlist on batch cooking minced beef. And this is one of the 7 recipes that are in that. So subscribe below and take a look and enjoy your meatballs.